Hello and welcome, I'm Bio, and today we're playing another Play It published game. And why does it always have to have, why does companies like this always have to have at least one pinball game? Why is it? They always got to have at least one, just one pinball game. And by chance, this, I think, is the most obscure pinball game on the PlayStation 2. And do you know why this is the most obscure pinball game on the PlayStation 2? It's because it's literally just called Pinball. That's it. Not Pinball Fun, like we did, like with the Simple 2000 series. Not Pinball Adventures. Not Pinball Deluxe. Not Pinball. Not the Great Pinball Adventures of Kathmandu. Nothing like that, right? It's simply called Pinball. And it's a Japanese game. It was originally released in Japan and got localized outside of Japan in Europe and only in Europe. Like, it says games you may like under Game FAQs, and one of it, like, it has Pinball Fun there, but another one, Power Shot Pinball. Like, literally, you could have added any kind of title to it, and yet they just simply called it Pinball. In Japan, this game is known as American Arcade, which at least, yeah, is quite a bland name, but I don't think there's a game on the PS2 called American Arcade. And they could have literally released this in the West as American Arcade, then colon Pinball. But no, just Pinball. Okay. I'm not trying to have a rant, I'm just saying, like, really? Play It? Really? You are obscuring your game immensely by simply calling it Pinball. Because that's such a vague title. If you typed in Pinball PS2 into Google, it's going to come up with just any old pinball game. Like the best pinball game on the PS2 ain't going to come up with your game, is it? Let's be honest. So, this is quite likely the most obscure pinball game on PS2 we're playing today. I thought Pinball Fun was, but no. I reckon this one. So this game is developed by Astroll, and obviously published by Play It, and it was released in November 2003 in the West. It was originally released in Japan as American Arcade in the year 2000, and strangely enough, it got re-released on PSN as a PS2 classic in 2012. It's just, you can't write this. But it says on the back of the box, classic American pinball like you've never seen it before. Dive into retro heaven and play on the actual 1950s tables. Amazing pinball experience where you can control multiple 3D viewpoints for up to 4 players. Choose from 11 different table options, play modes including all classic features including tilt. Okay. What? They literally, the title is right there. Like on the back of the, what's the first thing I said that come from the back of the box? Classic American pinball like you've never seen it before. They could have called the game Classic American Pinball. That's what they could have called it. I don't know. It's just such a weird thing to do. To just, it's like, let's say, for example, right, the Battle Royale market is flooded, isn't it? It's absolutely flooded, right? The Battle Royale market, right? Maybe Battle Royale is not a good example, but well, no, in all fairness, like, before Battle Royale was even a big thing, there was Battle Royale, the live-action movie, the manga. But let's say someone released a video games and it had no relation to the manga Battle Royale or anything related to that. It was just simply called Battle Royale, and it was a Battle Royale game. It would get buried. People would just automatically assume it to be related to the live action movie, the manga, just to see that it isn't, and that it'd be just buried under just all of the other Battle Royale games, because it's literally just called Battle Royale. You know what? I'm gonna call my next video game First Person Shooter. That's what I'm gonna call it, First Person Shooter, because it is a first person shooter. You see how kind of weird it is to just simply call your game Pinball if you use that kind of context? Just very strange. But let's jump into this. My expectations are low. They always are with pinball games. I'm sorry, it's not my genre. Alright, let's get the old name in here. Oh, we can actually put my full name in here if I want to. That's a rarity. You don't normally get that. Why not? Normally, like, doesn't let you put the full name in. Normally. So why don't we take advantage, and I'll go with it, alright? There we go. And it's interesting because another thing is that when I play this game on PCSX2, it comes up with the game's title, and it seems to be that for some reason they seem to think that the name of the game is Play It Pinball, as in obviously the publishers Play It Pinball, but it doesn't have that on the cover. The cover literally just says Pinball with Play It at the bottom in its usual area. Like, let's see if I can kind of give you an idea. Have a look, see. Yeah, okay, so that will do. So here we have, as you can see here, Pinball. This is it. This is its page on Game FAQs, right? You're seeing it, right? So if I go to Motor Siege, right, here, the game we've looked at previously, you can see where the Play It logo is on the cover, can't you? There it is. That's the Play It logo, right? It's not called Play It's Motor Siege, Warriors of Primetime, right? It's exactly the same. So here, it's exactly the same. So it's not called Play It Pinball. Unless on the spine it says Play It Pinball, which I highly doubt. Also considering that everywhere I see this game that I managed to find, it's called simply, it's just called Pinball. That's it. It isn't called anything else. So I highly doubt that it was released as Play It Pinball. And if it was, you failed Play It, because you should have called it Play It Pinball on the game case, on the spine, everywhere. I don't know. Right, let's go to free game. Right, so what do we have here? We have... I just want to see how many pinball machines we have total. We have 2 that are unlocked. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... It's 11. That's not too bad. Some of them like have 1. Or I've played PS2 pinball games that have like one table and that's it. So that's not too bad. So let's go with the Surf King, right? Let's do Surf King. We'll try both Surf King and the Sheriff one. But it's just, when I look at it, I just think it's crazy. You know. I've played so many pinball games on this channel, even though pinball's not really my kind of thing, simply because it just keeps coming up. All of the publishers I look at, they've got at least one pinball game under their belt. And I'm just too curious. I'm just like, really? What? I did a set called PlayStation Pinball Extravaganza back in the day, where I looked at PS1 pinball games. And I was hoping that would be my last time looking at pinball games, and they just keep coming back. Like, I could ignore this, but how could I not ignore a pinball game that is simply called Pinball? That's it. No other title, just Pinball. How could I ignore it? Alright, so here it is, the board. It looks nice. Looks reasonable. I already kind of like it more than Pinball Fun. I just found Pinball Fun to be a bit strange. It reminded me of Dragon Beat in a way on the PS1. And Dragon Beat was better. It played better. Okay. I feel like the physics are a little bit weird on this one. There we go. But I couldn't save that. There was nothing I could do with that. Guess I could tilt. Yes, tilt. Oh, did I tilt too much? I obviously tilted too much. Oh, it went down there anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway. It went down the bloody thing. I think that's what you're supposed to use the tilt for. If it's going to go somewhere where it's going to fall off, like here. Okay, the tilt did nothing there. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, I want to try again. Let's try again. This is the reason why I don't really use the tilt in pinball games, because to me, it's just a form of cheating. I don't tilt the machine when I'm playing pinball in real life. So why does it need to be a feature here? But yet I don't have an issue like this when I play pinball in real life. I can't believe how much the ball goes into areas you can't do anything about. The ball just falls into the... It either falls like straight down the middle, or it falls into one of the two left or right like side columns. And it happens so often it's unreal. Like to a point where I reckon these games are in a way kind of rigged, because I've played pinball in real life quite a fair bit. Because I like going to arcades and playing pinball. The last time... What was the last time I played pinball in real life? I think it was at Harry Baskin's or whatever it is when I was in Canada back in 2016. But before that, they used to have these like Sega game centers in... I think the closest one was Poole or Southampton. In the UK, it was a Sega like game center, and they'd have pinball stuff in there. Not many, but I would always have at least one go on the pinball stuff. And I always specifically remember not having an issue with like keeping it from falling straight down the middle, or having it go down either the left or right columns, and where you can't do it like there, where you can't do anything. Maybe it's the way the board is designed. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I never used to have an issue, so just find it very, very interesting. It's like it. There you go. That's screwed. Nothing I could have done there. I think that's game over. Yeah, we'll try the sheriff one. It's okay. It functions. It's just it has the same issues I have with every single pinball video game. Now, I'm not saying that, oh, well, why don't you just go buy a real-life pinball machine? I'm not saying that because they're expensive. They are pretty expensive. But, yeah, when I look back and I think of like the arcades, they've just all gone. All the arcades have gone. They just disappeared, and it sucks. So it was good fun. Good day out with a friend. Even as an adult, they were good fun. Because they were still around when I was in my early 20s. Like I said, you go to the like the Sega Game Center in Southampton, and they're like first of order of business, straight on to Time Crisis, of course. That was like tradition. You had to play Time Crisis first as soon as you entered. But yeah, it was just good fun. But they became really expensive, and then you'd go there and you'd only play a few machines because you couldn't play. Lovely, I've already lost the ball. Okay, let me, thank you. Yeah, they used to just get more and more expensive. It used to be like 50p a go, 50 pence a go, I mean, then it went to £1. I think they kind of just stuck at £1. Some machines were like, you needed £2 if you wanted to play, or something, and it was just like ridiculous. But, it is what it is. It's like I'm going to be going... Oh, well, by the time this video comes out, I would already have been to Thailand. But I'm going to be going to Thailand soon. Because, nice country, nice people, really chill. Very nice place to just relax and chill out. But they've got arcades there. And their arcades they have are fantastic. They have, like... You might have seen on my on the Biotech's channel... Like one of the old videos is I played Initial D, Arcade Stage 3, and Wagan Midnight. I don't know what's Arcade Stage Wagan Midnight. And it's just, yeah, you got stuff like that. You got quite a lot of machines, and they're just a lot of fun, if I'm honest. Maybe when I go, I might try and do some videos, because that's how I did that. I might try and do some videos, maybe, where I record me playing these arcade machines. It's just very awkward to do stuff like that. But enough about that. But enough about that, Bio. What about the game? It's a pinball game. It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's not the worst pinball game I've played. I've played some pretty horrendous pinball games. And if there's 11 boards here, 11 pinball boards you can play around with, that's already a bonus, because literally most of the both PS1 and PS2 pinball video games have maybe 5 boards at best. Like I always like to point towards, what was it? What was that series on the PlayStation 1? I forget the name. But one of like the boards was like time lapse or time something, right? Let's do one more go around. Time lapse or something. And I remember that they had 4 separate video games that I had a look at in one video. And each of the games only had one board. And yeah, the board was filled with detail and was very, like, it had a lot going on, right? But holy moly, it's like, really? It's like you're paying, you know, potentially the full price of a video game for a pinball video game with one board. Like, I don't understand the market, I'm gonna be honest. Like Pinball FX, like, the difference with Pinball FX is Pinball FX at least gives you a decent amount of boards to start off with, but I will admit the price they charge for the DLC boards is just extortionate. But then I think it's more about the license, because then I see like they have Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park, and you're like, yeah, that's an expensive license. Boom. So I can kind of get it with Pinball FX, even if I do think it's a bit extortionate. You know, I think it's quite expensive, all things considered. To if you wanted, let's say you wanted to get all the DLC, right? Come on. Ah, you key. Yeah, let's say you wanted to get all DLC, all things considered. I imagine it to be incredibly expensive. But yeah, I haven't really got much to say about this pinball game. The positives are that it's got multiple boards. The negatives is that it's a pinball video game. But again, it's not my thing, right? I'm not gonna. You may go, oh, you're just hating on the game. Yeah, it's not my type of game. You know, I picked it because it again, most of these pinball games gather my curiosity, because I'm like, at this point, I'm just looking to find the best one. And so far, the best one, in my opinion, for what I've seen, is Pinball FX. FX3. That is the best one. That game over? Or we got one more board? No, that's game over. There we go. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there for Pinball for PS2. Is it a good game? You know. If you're a fan of pinball games, it's fine. It works. It has enough boards, I guess, to keep you entertained. Because if you're a pinball video game fan, I can't imagine much keeps you I can't imagine it takes much to keep you entertained. I recommend the game called Watching Paint Dry. That might. Oh dear, I'm such a fucking dick, aren't I? If you like pinball video games, that's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's the same people that like pachinko and slot machine video games. Like, fine, sure. You know, I put quite a lot of hours probably playing the slot machine in Pokemon Red and Blue back in the day to try and get that Porygon. You know, I've been there. But I think it's, as a mini game, it's fine. But as an actual full video game, I think it's you know, unless you're charging like next to nothing for it, I think it's a little bit extortionate. That's just my 2 cents. Anyway, that's Pinball for PS2. I've been Bio. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.